Doctor Who showrunner confirms upcoming season to feature heavy focus on progressive messaging. If you're not writing that in 2024, what on earth are you doing? I'm living my life. I don't know about you. Apparently, these guys are obsessed with this stuff. And man, it goes pretty off the rails in this interview from Rolling Stone that they did. So here we go. Russell T Davies has confirmed the upcoming season of Doctor Who will feature a particularly heavy focus on both progressive messaging and socio-political commentary. Just what you wanted in your highbrow sci-fi, right? Just what you wanted in your magical time-traveling space hero guy, right? That's what you wanted. Anyway, he goes on to explain more of this. In the interview, he's pressed for more he's pressed on his thoughts about Ncuti Gatwa's casting as the first black actor to portray the series' titular hero in the proper. We had the fugitive doctor lady, the black lady from the future that was all mysterious and kind of angry at Jodie Whittaker. Probably Jodie Foster too, who knows. But he says to this, right, so Davies pipes up and he says, "It's about time. Sometimes big old terrestrial and streaming shows can be slow machines to catch up with the world. And I'm getting older now, so you become one of those gatekeepers of television, for want of a better word. Your job is to then hold the gate open. Come on in, everyone." Right? Well, and Ncuti Gatwa jumps in on this, and he has to say this. He says, reinforcing Davies' argument, he jumps in and he says, "That's what the show does. It evolves and it regenerates. I feel like it's about time. And I am here. For all you dammers out there, I'm not going anywhere." Again, I have to stress that this isn't even the Doctor proper. You have to remember that he split off. They weren't even brave enough to go full Black Doctor, right? He's not. He's split off. He's not David Tennant's Doctor, who is the proper regeneration Doctor, is still having breakfast with the nobles. They left him there. He's just in a time warp loop, whatever. Like he left Gallifrey in a time loop. He's just stuck there, spreading the jam all over the bread or something. Meanwhile, Ncuti's separated from him. He's not the evolution of that Doctor, right? He's a separate entity again, kind of like the Doctor's daughter. So this, again, it's not the character proper. You're not brave enough to go that far, Russell T Davies. Either that or the BBC's not that brave, so that way they wouldn't let you go that far. Just think about that for a minute, how they're, row, 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 I'm not going anywhere, even though they couldn't commit to making him the full Doctor. I can't wait for this whole thing to come about where they have to rectify it. And it's like some Mustafar battle and racism is at the core of the whole thing. And it's going to be awful. It's going to be awful, right? So they still go on, though. They still go on. They have more to say about this insanity. And they say this. Davies then addressed the fact that both he and Gatwa were themselves queer, telling Steppenwall that while many feared otherwise, their sexualities would have no undue or excessive influence on the season's storytelling. Really? Don't you remember when Ncuti was out there saying, "Hey, I want to twerk. I want a doctor that twerks. We have a twerking scene in the TARDIS," is what he wants, huh? Yeah, none of that sexuality's leaking through. None of that. Surely not. And he goes on and he says, "I don't walk around thinking all day about being queer. And what's my queer energy today?" Davies explained. You're talking to people who live a queer life. So this is completely normal. And where I'm slightly amazed is that anyone finds this different. Come on, straight people, come and find out. Now, you remember in Doctor Who, there were tons of villains that were like, come on and find out. Come on, there's no danger here. Come on in, there's no problem. Everything's going to be fine, Doctor. Bring your cute little companion with you. Yeah, exactly, right? Little bit of the show bleeding through Davies, maybe, instead of the other way around. A little bit of that. Anyway, he goes on and says more. Gatwa jumps in and he says that he's reluctant to define the Doctor, though Gatwa himself, Ncuti himself, is queer, apparently. He's defining himself as queer, right? He says he's reluctant to label the Doctor any human sexuality because they're an alien. That's right, Doctors are they, them now, not a he, him. At least Ncuti Gatwa's version is they, them anyway. Maybe the proper Doctor that David Tennant is still a he, him. Who knows? And the quote says here, it says, they've been with all sorts. That is labelless and limitless. And I think it represents our ability to be limitless and our ability to be anything. And that character can be anyone and played by anyone. I feel very, very honored that I get to be the first of a couple things, because I think if you're a true fan of the show, you understand that. You understand that Doctor Who lends itself to inclusivity and to diversity and welcoming different people. That's what Russell has done, and I'm very happy to be a part of that. I just wanted a sci-fi show, really. It didn't matter to me. But now they make it matter. This is the problem. Ncuti, I know you're not going to watch this video. I know nobody related to you will. But here we go. Ncuti, it doesn't matter that you're black and gay. You make it matter. You make that what defines your career as the Doctor. Not the adventure, not your acting, not what you bring to the table. It's just that you're queer and black is what you want to make this whole thing about. And that's why people are talking about it, is because you won't stop talking about it. If it doesn't matter, let it not matter. It's very simple. And why this gets me angry is because it wastes so much time. It wastes so much time that we could be talking about the product. We could be talking about what the plans are for the show. We could be trying to bring people back into the fold rather than trying to hammer them with more political nonsense, as Davies has confirmed. This next season's going to be all about. Congratulations, everybody. We're going to get more propaganda. But we're not done. We're not done with this yet. It goes on even further. In the interview, the interviewer, Steppenwall, noted that while Doctor Who had always been relatively progressive, Davies' upcoming run would lean particularly hard on such topics, as evidenced through the introduction of Donna Noble's transgender child. You remember Jace? Good old Jason, right? And then the Doctor being chided over his pronoun use. And we got to remember, Jace is more powerful than the Doctor, because pronouns, maybe, I'm not really sure. But when he was pressed about why he did this, if he thinks this is a really good idea, he says, if you're not writing that in 2024, what on earth are you doing? And he spirals into this weird psychobabble. Listen to this. He says, I think our rights are in danger. I'm talking as someone who's lived through gay liberation, all the way through the AIDS crisis, all the way through the freedoms that we have now. I could see them spinning and being endangered. So there's no choice in this. And if the most exciting and entertaining action adventure show on television can also do that, I think it's wonderful. Now, I'm sure I overplayed the hand there, but yeah, what? What are you talking about? Doctor Who having queer-coded stories and heavy-handed, ham-fisted political messaging in it is going to save gay rights, trans rights. It's going to save lives. Is that what you're saying, Russell T Davies? Are you trying to tell me that putting more queer-coded crap that has nothing to do with the sci-fi world of Doctor Who into it, miring the property in political propaganda rather than high-flying sci-fi adventure, hopeful views of the future, rectified justice, evil put to rest, instead of showing us that, right? Instead of showing us that, you want to bark at us about sociopolitical issues. Is that what I'm to understand? That all this sociopolitical engineering you're bringing to the show is going to save lives. Listen for a minute. It's a television show. There is something severely wrong with society if you think that a television show is saving people's lives. We have bigger problems than Ncuti Gatwa feeling like being black and gay prevents him from being accepted by the Doctor Who fan community, okay? He's an actor. Begin and end. That's all that needed to be brought to the table about him, right? Now you're telling me that you need to put more political propaganda into this in order to make people like him feel what? Safe? They're going to hurt themselves or something? If you don't do this? Someone out there, oh, well, you didn't put enough gay in Doctor Who, so we got to, I don't know, repeal rights now. We got to take their rights away. We're going to put them in the stockades. Wow, we're going to put them on a big boat and send them to gay Australia. What is it? What is it, Russell T Davies? Come on. Come on. Be real. And to you out there, the fans that are watching this, right, that are listening to all this stupid crap coming out of this guy's face, it's not Doctor Who. It's sold out. It's gone. Disney obviously owns it, so you know that. But even before then, it's gone. All right? It went way off the rails when they introduced River Song. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of the River Song character. I think it was a very bad idea to give the Doctor a wife. That pushed the character beyond where it needed to be. He had a Peter Pan kind of attitude about him, a forever young kind of thing with him, and that lended itself well to the repetitive adventures. But now with all this compounding poo-pooing and all this compounding you're a bad man stuff, the character just doesn't have any, footing in heroism anymore. Maybe Russell T Davies is right to turn it into a political screed, because that seems to be all it's good for these days. I don't know. You let me know down in the comments how you feel about this. Maybe you've got some ideas to fix Doctor Who. I certainly don't. I think it's way too far gone to try and turn this ship around now. Might as well let him drive it clear into the sun. But as always, I'll see you in the next video, and good luck out there.